Okay. I know you've read or heard about that game, movie, or comic, blah, blah, but you haven't heard it from us. So chill, relax, let us talk all about it before you log off.
Yeah.
All right, then we'll get right into it. What's up, everybody? This is Sir Aaron Carter, and you're listening to Before You Log Off. And I'm here with, of course, Stephen Gutierrez.
What up?
David Webb.
What up, nerds?
Okay, I didn't know you were going for a full intro there. And Emmaskies, of course.
So you're gonna put me last again, and Webb's gonna steal my intro.
Okay.
This is a great episode to do this on. You're all bad people.
We all just got out of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, we did.
And it's not good, everybody.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Honestly, go fuck yourself.
Okay. All right. So before we start, though, just letting everybody know, if you clicked on it and you're starting to listen, this is a full spoiler cast.
Full-blown
All
spoiler
of the
review.
spoilers.
So anything after this point will be, it's no holds barred. Like you're just going, we're going fully blown in. So I guess we'll do roundtable of reactions. Webb, you want to go second? Emma, how about you go first?
That was a really good save.
Yeah.
See, but now you're doing it.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's not genuine.
Now it's pandering.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, is that what you want?
Emma, please.
Think about
you are so hyped. Let's not lose that momentum. Your first reaction with
She's like a little kid on Christmas.
Captain Marvel.
It was really good. It was really good.
All right,
It was
David,
really
now what'd you
good.
think?
You're all bitches. You're all bitches.
I
and I
can
need
actually
you to let
now
me
see the
have
tear
this.
mark on her face now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Oh, wait, hold on. Gather yourself.
It
And
was
then can you
so
give a
good.
coherent? There we go.
So, for obvious reasons, it's very good as far as like the impact of it, the societal impact of it. Very, very good, very important moment. But as a movie on its own, was also a really good origin movie. It was a really good Marvel movie. Felt very on brand, and that was solid. That was like a solid, entertaining, good story, emotional impact, very amazing action. I just want to go punch everything that I can see right now.
Oh, and she did.
Yeah.
And she did.
That's your fault for sitting next to me.
I have a security deposit on this place, so please don't
Simply
punch.
just a punch. Webb, you want to give your first impressions?
I thought it was really good. It was I really enjoyed it, and I like the fact that you can go into this movie. Like a lot of people, I think, were hesitant to see it because they don't know anything about Captain Marvel, and you need to know nothing about Captain Marvel to go see this movie.
Yes.
I studied up just in case, and some of it was continued, but they changed a lot too of the origin story. So like, you don't need to know anything to go see this movie.
You don't even need to know anything about the
I was
Marvel
gonna say,
movies.
yeah. To be
Yeah,
fair,
no,
you don't even.
That's true.
It's a fresh one on its own.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
for many reasons.
There's nods.
Fury
of course.
has two eyes.
Terrible. There's a whole bunch of,
And a lot of hair.
whole bunch of nods to all the other movies, but like, it's definitely one on its own. Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead, Steven. You're.
Oh no! I mean, they kind of nailed it. It's a really good movie. It's done really well. I mean, there's things that I wanted to see more of, but I'm okay with not getting them. Like I wanted
Steven
more
feels like he
'90s
has to
references
look at me to
because
give anything.
because I'm worried about your attack.
Exactly. If anybody says it's less than
You flirkin'
great,
or what was it?
Flirkin'.
Flirkin'.
Flirkin. How many times?
Flirkin'.
How many times?
That reaction,
Probably
though.
a lot.
What is that? It's a cat. That's a flirkin.
Yeah. So that was one of the things. So like, okay, it was obviously a very good movie.
Yes.
You have to say really good because we all said really good, and now you have to be like us.
Did everybody say really good?
No,
did.
you can
Yeah.
keep your
Everyone was.
opinion.
No, for symmetry.
It
for
was.
symmetry.
It
you
was
have to say
very,
good.
really good movie.
What's wrong?
And like, if I had to rank it out of all of them, we'll save that for last. If anything, no, we'll save that
Yeah,
for last.
that's-
We'll
that's
save that
final
for last.
verdict.
Oh.
Let's talk
That's
about the
final
story.
verdict.
That's also like a hard thing to do right now.
Not really. Not
Because
really.
we've all had like a lot of time to dissect all of the other movies, and this one is very fresh. I feel like I
That's
mean,
true.
I see the look you're giving me.
Because so when I went to see Black Panther for the first time, I was like, this is a really good movie, but it still didn't reach number one for me. Because my number one,
Didn't you say top 5?
yeah, it's top
Oh,
Yeah,
five.
because where we discussed it.
Yeah, it's top 5.
What's your number one?
Civil War.
Okay.
Civil War is my hands down number.
Ooh.
The clashing of two like
Titans.
teams, like that's, you don't get that in any other one. Like that, the amalgamation of all the different. Well, anyway, Captain Marvel is what we're talking about. Captain Marvel.
As I sit here in a Captain
Tangents.
America shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Traitor. So the story, we'll start with the story. It was an origin story for Captain Marvel. They went from her, they pick up like in the middle kind of her quote unquote origin. If you're a comic book fan and like comic book faithful, you're not going to get any of that. You're not getting she was a military woman that was a fanboy of Marvel. You're not getting
Fangirl.
or fangirl, excuse me. Sheesh.
I mean,
that's why you're here.
She kind of was.
He's relating it to
But
himself.
you don't figure that you don't figure out who
You don't
Marvel
figure
is until
so
later on.
and I like that.
I do too.
No, yeah, that was a
a
good
good
twist,
It was
spin
a
on
good
things.
twist, because here's the thing. So in my research, I found out that Marvel recently retconned her origin. And in the new origin story, her mom is actually Kree.
And
And she's a Kree warrior, and it's basically the same idea. Her mom came here and ended up like defecting and wanting to be human. Told her dad, and I'm just gonna hold the mic.
Yeah,
everybody's
like
open.
half of that conversation was picked up.
And
it
so
was.
her dad, her dad accepted it and yada yada yada. Anyway, and then she ends up finding out later on in life that her mom is actually Kree, and then they go into battle together. And spoiler, her mom dies. But so all that to say,
What?
yeah,
Her mother dies?
when we first see the Supreme Intelligence, which also I was not expecting to see in this movie, she takes
The
the
wonderful
form.
Annette Bening.
Yes,
Is
No,
that who that was?
fantastic job.
she takes the form of her,
Fantastic
and
job.
my immediate thought was, oh, that's her mom, and she just doesn't remember it. And I thought, okay, so
Yeah, was
that's
my
why they
thought, too.
retconned it in the comics
That
because
was
they're
gonna be
gonna
my thought,
realign
too.
I'm
it.
glad they didn't do that though.
And I'm really glad they
Yeah, I'm
didn't
really
do
glad
that.
they didn't
What
do
they
that.
actually did was like, oh, so good.
And I was talking about it with you guys when we were in the theater, but like my first thing when they said that her name was Marvel, I was like, all those fucking douche bros that are so mad at this movie are gonna be pissed that Marvel is a woman.
Well, because we all thought that Jude Law's character was Marvel.
That's very true. I
Yeah.
thought that's who it
Everybody-
was.
I'm actually glad
that he wasn't.
that he wasn't
Yeah.
because unpopular opinion, I don't really care for Jude Law
How dare you?
as an actor.
I
I
don't-
He
don't.
was good in Sherlock Holmes.
He was good in. Oh no, he was the first
Yeah.
one. I didn't really like the second one.
He was good in all of them.
He was good at
Is
Enemy
he
at the
Watson?
Gate.
He's Watson, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the sniper one, right? Enemy at the Gate.
And
Yeah. Anyway,
Behind Enemy Lines?
I don't care for him too much because when I see him, I think rom com.
Yeah, I can see what you can
just
see.
a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, like he's okay. I just like he's not a big selling point for me, if that makes sense.
You seeing the commercials with Jude Law isn't driving you to the movie right then and there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, he's not for you.
I haven't
then.
seen that commercial,
It's
so
like-
I'm just
No, that's fine. I really want to know how many people, because you're like all the guys online are going to be pissed that it's a female, but I don't know how many people or how big Marvel, the character in the comic books, were to people.
I think it's gonna
Because
be.
she just died
It
real
doesn't matter.
fast.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
they
matter.
took a male character and they made them female.
It's another
That-
They're
ancient
gonna lose
one.
their fucking minds, and I can't wait.
But also it's going to be the people who are going to be upset are going to be the ones that are the older comic book fans that know the history of Carol Danvers, as Miss Marvel, as like, falling in love with Marvel, getting his powers.
That was another thing
know.
I was very happy not to see, is that she didn't have a love interest. Because first of all, I was like, I'm really glad Jude Law's not her love interest, but she didn't
Yeah.
have one, and you have no idea how much that means and
For-
how happy that made me.
For
a
now.
minute.
For now, she.
Yeah, I
And
was
that's
gonna
fine.
say,
And
'cause
like
I
she
kn-
can have one.
she
in the
hasn't
future.
met
Don
Rhodey
Cheadle's
yet.
coming through in the
Oh
next
my
one,
God.
and it's her.
Yeah.
It's
Or,
War
Like
Machine.
they can give her one, and that's totally
Yes.
fine. But like, it was not a part of her origin story at all.
Yeah, it
And
was
that
good.
was actually a very good choice. That was a very
Yes.
good thing. Like they didn't shoehorn something like that in, and I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
You were going to say something else about that?
I was just say for a minute I thought that Jude Law was going to be her love
Yeah,
interest.
well,
on the
worried
train.
about
because
it.
they
On the
do
train?
they do that thing where she's
A little
pursuing
banter.
him almost. Like that's how I felt. Like she was flirting with
Yes.
him. Like
Yes.
I'm.
And she's like,
I'm
oh,
trying to get you.
It's me that you see.
yeah,
isn't it?
it's
Yeah.
the other way around. She's.
I didn't get that at all.
I
You
didn't
didn't
get
that?
none
like
of
I
that.
felt.
That
That's
did
what I
not feel
felt.
flirty.
I
That
got
just
like a
felt like her
trainer and
personality.
yeah, I thought it was just a trainer.
No,
and
well, she
trainee
has that
type of
personality, but I
situation.
felt like she was like, because it was a part. I forget what she said. She was like, it was on the lines of like, you know what I'm saying, like she was kind of flirting. I forgot the fucking line.
Well, I know
Was
what
it when
you're
she
talking
said
about, 'cause it's-
do you want to fight and like she like raised her eyebrows? Is what you were talking
Well,
about?
no, that too. I guess
Is
could
it the
kind
scene,
of
you're
be
talking about the scene on the train.
on the
when they're talking
train.
about
Yeah,
the Supreme
I
Intelligence.
can't remember which
And
one.
she's
Let's say,
asking,
if I had
she's
a-
like, "Is it your father? Is
He's
it your
like,
brother?"
I know what
And
you're
he's like,
doing,
yeah.
and then she's like, dude, and she's like her moving her eyebrow like in a flirty way.
Well,
I felt.
Because he says, I know what you're doing, and she says, "Does it work?" And he says, "Is it working?" He says, "Yes." She's just trying.
That's it.
She's just trying to get him off the subject of chastising her.
Yeah, because then
She's just trying to
that's
get
what he
out of-
said.
Oh.
Right after that, he was like, I know what you're doing, and, I'm
Oh,
not
see,
changing
I
the
took it
question or
completely
changing the
different. Like she
subject.
was flirting with him.
No.
Yeah, I
Like,
never got
trying
a
to-
flirty thing.
And
I
like
never got a flirty
that's
thing.
her. You kind of get that's her thing. That makes her different from the Kree. Is they're very like no emotions, and she uses a lot of humor.
Oh yeah,
She uses a lot of humor, a lot of sarcasm, and it kind of puts them off balance. But no, I just took that as being like her personality.
So they started with her and her power and her training, and you see that she has dreams, which are alluding to her past or previous life. Flashbacks, basically. They go quickly into her life as a Kree, into the first mission that they do. And
With the wonderful Gemma Chan, who I did not know was in this movie.
Oh, as the sniper?
Love her.
Was that her first look at Hela? Hala? Was it
Hala?
Hala?
Yeah.
Hella is somebody.
Oh, no, wait, you
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
our,
I was like,
our,
Hela?
Is that the first look
our,
at
our
the,
look as the
the
audience?
planet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because they
Hala.
showed Xandar,
Yeah.
but I don't know why I kept getting those confused. Like Xandar was
I
where the
did
Kree
too. That's why I was
come
like,
from.
wait a minute,
No.
it's not.
But no, yeah, that was the
Completely
first look at Hala, and that was pretty cool. Their little team chemistry thing was pretty cool too. I like the dialogue that they had.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of makes me
With Ji
wonder.
Won-Husu.
It makes you wonder, how did he switch kind of into like a I don't know. It's
Like
just,
He's
like
just
a
on
space
Ronan's
cop?
side.
yeah,
He's just like a space cop.
well, no, because in Guardians he's more of a I don't know, like a just drone, like a henchman type of
Yeah.
guy.
Well,
Yeah.
because he stuck with Ronin, and became a radicalist.
And to be fair,
And then he
to
also
be
had like
fair-
all that mechanical shit in his head.
I thought they were going to explain that too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought like when there was that spoiler fighting scene.
It's a whole
Like I
podcast
know, I
spoiler.
understand that. I'm just still doing it. Like he was gonna get injured.
Yeah, I
some
thought
sort.
too. Yeah,
And then Ronan was gonna like find him. You know what I mean? Like that's what I felt.
a little after
was gonna
credit, after
happen.
credit.
Yeah, like
Oh,
something.
at the
something
end,
like
end
that.
battle scene.
Yeah.
he's like be floating in space or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, I could see that. I could see that.
I did not know that Accuser was a like rank.
Me too, or like a race of people, or whatever the
No,
fuck they
that's
were.
it's like a
It's like a rank,
group
right?
of people. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
the
'cause they keep
accusers.
calling
They all
them
have
the
hammers and
accusers.
stuff. Yeah.
I
just thought that was his name. Like
thought it
his
was Ronin the
title.
Accuser. Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
yeah,
I just remember like the four
like the
of them.
mountain.
There was like the pursuer. The
It's like the
accuser.
accuser corps.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch. They all have.
Yeah, they all have
hammers
the,
and
Like
they
stuff.
have the same ship. They have the hammer, and like I thought that was.
I thought they were going to show
interesting.
more of them.
But they showed 3.
Yeah.
No, I mean like more hammers. Like they just
Oh,
showed Ronan with his.
because
And they look like the Blue Man Group when it was him and that other guy behind him. All I
have
could
so
think
much
of
in
was
common.
fucking-
Why can't they talk to each other?
That would have been pretty cool. Them showing all, because they have all different type of accusers, like female accusers, and it's just Ronan is the most famous, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, and we were introduced to him as Ronan the Accuser.
That is
as
true.
the only
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
we didn't realize until
Yeah,
now.
it's not
it's a
title.
thing.
Well, they retconned
So,
it in the
speaking of Ronan the
MCU.
Accuser,
MCU, yeah.
I couldn't really tell, and I feel like it's because of all the makeup and the everything. Did they digitally de-age Lee Pace too, or did they just?
I think they just
I
blew
couldn't
him up.
fucking tell.
Was it the? I felt like it was a different actor.
It's
It
the same
looked
guy.
like it looked like
It
a
was Lee
completely
Pace.
different guy.
The only
It
difference-
did, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
the
so I'm
only-
not.
They
I'm
may
not
have
alone on that.
de-aged him just to.
I think
'cause-
they had to
and then he
de-age
doesn't have
everybody.
the
'Cause he aged Coulson.
The lines.
he doesn't have the black lines on
Black
his face.
lines.
and
Yeah, so
everything,
that's the only thing
yeah.
that felt different to me. But like, he still looks like Lee Pace. He still looks like that age. The one de-aging that I feel like didn't hold up was Coulson's.
Coulson. Yep.
Coulson looked way worse than they
Coulson
spent
was
all their
weird.
money on Samuel L. Jackson,
He-
and Coulson looks
Well,
weird.
Samuel L. Jackson's 90% of the movie.
He's very uncanny valley.
Where
Yes.
Coulson is like you got maybe 10 minutes.
Coulson looks like
So
a
you couldn't put
Botox mess.
A little bit of money
I'm
into
so-
the
No,
budget?
Okay, but
How much CGI did they use for this film?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, they only can
90%
spare
of the budget was CGI.
10 minutes.
I'm so glad to see Coulson back on the big screen. I love Coulson. He is probably one of my favorite characters, non-superhero, in the MCU. And it's so cool seeing him back.
But
on
do you
the
think there was
screen.
enough of them in this?
No, not even a
Yeah.
little bit.
No, there wasn't enough of
Yeah.
Coulson.
No,
in
there
this.
wasn't. They should have been a little bit more.
Here's the thing though.
Because you got to think about if you want more Coulson, what are you taking away? From
Exactly.
This movie?
That's the thing is I would like more Coulson, but I don't see how we could have had more Coulson.
He could have.
What
He could have been
more-
in
Take
the
away-
background, like with them, the whole time.
Take away Ronan. Did we need Ronan scenes at
Yeah.
all?
Yeah, I think we did because that helped people who are not familiar with the comics whatsoever, help them understand, okay, this does, even though this takes
does
place in
fit
the
in.
past, it fits in. It's same
So does
character.
Coulson.
Yeah, but exactly.
So does
Coulson does
Coulson.
that one.
Yeah.
and then having
Coulson
the whole.
But
connects
Coulson
all
would-
of them.
Coulson still keeps it grounded though. Having Ronan attaches it to the larger universe.
Have a whole race of Kree just pop in.
Yeah.
They didn't need
Yeah,
the
but
accuser.
No, but here's the thing though: is all the Kree look different when we're introduced to the Kree in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Uh-huh.
It's Ronan and he's blue.
There's
and then
other
he
Kree
has-
too, because there's the Kree that put the stuff on them that just look like blue people.
Yeah, exactly. But they're
Yeah.
blue. That's
Okay.
my point. In this movie, we see they're all Kree, but only one of them is blue. So Ronan ties it
wait,
in.
What?
you're talking about the Star Force.
Star Force.
Yeah, when they showed the planet and they were on the ship, like there was a whole bunch of blue people.
There was tons of blue
There was
people.
blue
I
people.
was like,
There
what
was
do you?
black people, white people. Like,
Did you
the
sit
Kree
too
come in
far?
different colors.
Okay, but I did sit too far. But here's the thing though: is they all call themselves Kree though? It's for
Yeah.
the Kree Empire.
So like it didn't
but they're not all.
We're all human,
So,
but
okay.
we look different.
think
But
of.
here's my point though: is the non-comic book person, the average person seeing this with zero knowledge, is gonna say, "Wait a minute, I thought the Kree were blue." And so Ronan helps ties it all together.
So why couldn't that be
We're
done
spending
with?
so much time on this.
But
one.
but why couldn't that just be done with just a blue Kree?
I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Ronan seems like they wanted to tie it in, but it's like they didn't necessarily.
Ronan
have to
was the
do
one that I felt like there wasn't enough of.
Because
They didn't need
what
to be
purpose?
there.
Because because like you kind of get just enough of him that he's there, but you're like you're saying like did
It's like
I
why?
need you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
I mean,
you could have spent a little more time on like why he's there because even at the end he just runs away.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is
And I'll
fine.
be back. Well, no,
so
you
you get
won't,
a
bruh.
you get a
Yeah,
hologram.
right.
No, you
You
won't.
get in this movie you get as much Ronan as you did of Thanos in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
yes.
About the same amount of time. You get a
Yeah.
hologram form of him, and then you get him in person,
Yeah.
and then that's
So
it.
all this to say, Aaron would have taken out Ronan and put in
And
more
added in
Coulson.
Coulson.
Because he
very
could
much
have
so.
been a hologram and still got.
Exactly.
Because then you're still like, oh look, there's Ronan the accuser.
Yeah.
All right, cool, we're done. You didn't need him. Coulson would have been nice because they did this thing where they established that relationship, that bond between Fury and Coulson.
Sorta.
Yeah.
Sorta.
Well,
He said
exactly,
he was a rookie.
Exactly, sort of, because
Yeah.
they didn't spend
Because
more
he's saying
time
they
on
could
it.
have went
They
further.
could have went further
So
and
now,
had
so now
him
you know when you
together.
look back into the future ones where you see them like really close and
Yeah.
buddy, you're like, I know why they're that
That's
close
why.
because of all
This
the
is
stuff
why
that
he's
happened.
number
Right.
3.
Exactly.
Which I get, but they did a good job explaining why that's not the case in this movie because he's brand new. He just started.
yeah, no, that's good. I mean,
And
that's,
Yeah,
you know what I
he's
mean?
the rookie.
He's
I
the
got
rookie,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
which come on, he
But
didn't-
still,
for his age, he was not a rookie.
No,
He's-
no.
He transferred from another career path.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
transferred from a different division.
All
He's
right,
having a midlife crisis.
okay, so we got through their Star Force team. Then she gets knocked to Earth after escaping
Very conveniently.
capture from, and then right in America.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like just right straight to America. She didn't fall in China or something like that, or Russia, a
Well,
giant
I mean,
landmass.
Then they got spent
Africa.
half the movie
Yeah.
about how she gets.
then you got a Venom situation where somebody's on a plane for like 4 months.
Dang.
And they really explain why.
Dumb.
We're talking about
dumb,
good Marvel
yeah.
movies here.
That's not
so-
Marvel movie. It's a Sony movie.
Well, yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah,
Don't put that on
that's
them.
true. That's true.
Don't we can put that evil on
Don't
them.
put that on Kevin Feige.
She falls in the blockbuster. Lots of
great
references,
nod.
Which I thought
to
was a
90s
nice
movies.
touch.
Nice touch having her pick up the right stuff. I was like,
I've
I
never
didn't read
seen-
it.
I've
I
never
didn't get to
seen
read
that.
it.
the movie
Yeah,
she
the
picked
movie.
up was the right
What,
stuff.
what significance is that? Because I don't
It's
get
a
the
movie about
reference.
astronauts and pilots.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
Literally was
okay.
focusing on all the movies behind her.
Yeah.
That's all I was.
Yeah,
doing.
like, what
I
is
was like,
there?
I was
Is
like,
there-
oh, look at that one. Look
I've
at
rented
one.
that before.
And then when she like shot the True Lies
The True
movie, I was
Lies.
like,
She
I
shot
saw that
Arnold
in theater.
Schwarzenegger right in the
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. So
You saw that in theater?
yeah, I saw True Lies
True
in
Lies-
theater. It was
True Lies is dope.
great.
Yikes.
It was
That's a good
great.
recommendation.
I was
I've
2
seen
years
it.
old.
I've seen the
And
movie.
you should watch it.
I saw it
I've
on
seen
like
it.
you know
Sure.
video.
Okay.
I was just 2 years old.
In
I want to
theaters.
make you all feel old.
So they also
I didn't
there's
see it in theaters.
nothing in the world you can do. But anyway, so they go right into Shield, like
Yeah, immediately.
2 seconds
They
after.
establish it.
So go ahead.
Which is, to me, I hate that it's not like cohesive, because Iron Man 1, they didn't have the Shield name already.
I thought they
You know-
did.
No,
at the end he
that's
says you can call it
right.
Shield.
Yeah, because
It wasn't even
introduces himself as Strategic Homeland,
Like
and
they
they're
were
like, you gotta
just
do something about that
forming.
name, and they're like, we're working on it.
Yeah, and so now all of a sudden, like stuff like that, little things like that, when I catch it, it bothers me. But
very
with
good
this
point.
one, I'm okay with.
Maybe he was being sarcastic back then.
Nah,
Maybe
see,
he was
that's
like,
not.
yeah, we're
that's
working
not
on
okay.
it, but they know
Because
it's called
Gwyneth
Shield.
Paltrow.
That's
It's
not
like,
okay.
you gotta do something about this name, and it's
Yeah,
not
Oh,
just
man.
it
any
it messes me up.
If you guys didn't hear it, that was just a glass shattering of me realizing that's.
And they do it again because, like with Agents of Shield,
Is it the glass ceiling? shattering?
Coulson
That's something different.
finds out what the Kree is after he figures out what happened to him.
Yeah.
Because in Agents of Shield, you guys probably haven't seen
No,
it.
I've
but-
seen it all. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
use the Kree blood to
Right.
bring him back.
exactly.
That's why he goes.
So
crazy
and then
starts
that's when
writing
he
Creed.
first figures out, in quotation marks, that the Kree exists.
Oh.
But
So in this movie, he's like talking like, "Oh yeah, the Kree, blah blah blah."
you could write that off as saying the
They-
crap messed with his head whenever he came back.
which it did because
so,
he
yeah.
went crazy.
Yeah, he had lapses
And he
of
didn't-
memory.
He
and-
didn't remember what happened to
Yeah.
him. So you could say
So
that.
you can write that off like that. Like he's not all there anymore. Like it's.
Yeah, but wasn't with Thor and stuff coming from outer space? They were all like shocked.
Not
Coulson.
No, not Coulson.
no,
Coulson
because it was at the end
was-
of Iron Man 2. He goes, "I've been called to New Mexico," and it was at
Yeah.
the
It was the hammer.
the post credit scene. It was he drives up and he sees the hammer had landed.
Yeah, he's
so
just walking up to a hammer.
right.
Could have just been a powerful weapon. He doesn't know the origin of
Well,
it.
that fell from space though. I thought they.
Yeah, no,
No,
They
it
knew
just
that.
It's
well,
clear.
yeah, because there's like a crater.
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah,
So I
it's-
mean,
Okay.
but where you are right is the shield thing.
yeah, the shield
Yeah.
thing for sure. I didn't catch that
I
at
didn't
all.
even catch that.
They did it again, but I can't remember with what.
The only part, so speaking of the blockbuster part, the only part of the movie that made me go like, how does this work? Was the security guy that called shit. So they show up and they're like, you called this in? And he's like, yeah. And he looks over to her. He saw her and pointed her to Radio Shack at night. And it is like full blown middle of the fucking day.
Yeah.
And she's still like on a payphone and he's sitting right there in his car
Well,
where he was.
There
And
was
he's
a bunch
like,
of
yeah,
wires. and
Yeah,
messed
how
up
long did
stuff,
it take her
so
to
how
build
long-
that
yeah,
stuff,
she
you
had
know
to
what I mean?
build the stuff. So I mean,
That's true.
That's
But
what
he's
it
like
was.
It
still
took
sitting in
her
the
an
same
hour to
spot
break
in the
into
car.
Radio Shack.
It could have been like
I'm just
5 in the
saying.
morning,
Mhm.
like right before
The police
dawn,
don't show up
so-
until like 2 hours later anyway.
It
Actually, they
wasn't,
probably
yeah, it wasn't a
come
good
on.
neighborhood.
they
so
they
its
probably
response time
did
is very low.
It's
they
probably
probably
morning.
they probably did say what time it was because they did like location and then
I
but
think
maybe
they
I just
did
missed
when
it.
she crashed in.
C
I'd have
Because
to
they
see
put
it
the
again.
planet.
C
and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
put-
531 or whatever.
Here's the thing:
Terra Homeland.
when did the switch happen between Coulson and the
The
Kree?
the scroll.
Oh, the Skrull, yeah. Like because so Nick Fury gets into a car with quote
The
unquote
Skrull.
Coulson, yeah, that's a Skrull. But it's like, when did that switch happen? Like he was in his eyesight the whole time.
Was he? I don't think he
They
was.
No.
they
No,
pulled up.
except
No.
for the
No.
scene where the scroll attacked from the roof.
You don't see Coulson,
They
or
pull up-
sorry, you don't see Fury until he knocks on the payphone.
So wait, they pull up together, right?
Because I could have
Yeah,
swore
they
two
pull up
white
together.
guys got out of that vehicle.
They
Yeah.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
In that scene, I like punched you, and I was like, oh, and I was like, it's gonna be Fury, and then it was two white dudes. And I
Yeah.
was
Two
like, oh,
white
it's
dudes.
not-
One went
it's not
straight
Fury.
into Blockbuster. The other one went in, which was Coulson, and knocked and talked to the security guard.
Okay, so
There, and then it jumps to Fury, or yeah, then it jumps
But it
to
doesn't-
Fury knocking
but
on
it
the
doesn't jump
thing.
time.
I know, but
No,
see,
but he's just saying there are.
they
moments where you don't
whenever
see
they
it.
do stuff like that, it's always like you're supposed to just assume because it's a time jump. Basically,
No, you can assume if it's time. Well, then that's just bad direction.
No,
because
that happens
It should have
in
cut
movies
away to another
all the damn time.
It should have cut away to another scene and then come back.
When
to
somebody
to
gets in a
him.
car and then drives, and the next scene they're at wherever their destination is.
Yeah, but
That's
this wasn't.
how the-
This wasn't.
it's a
they were
similar
all in
I
the
feel like we're spending too
same.
much time on this.
We're spending more time.
That's
yeah.
true, but
It's running all
they
over
were
again.
all in the same area, and I'm like,
like
nobody
the group
just saw
chat all
that.
over again.
Like how?
Don't bring that up. Don't bring it up.
Other things. Let's see. So they did the big chase scene. Everybody had to see the whole the light rail, or what was it? The little train system
Yeah, the
fight
old lady
scene with the old
punch.
Oh,
lady
yeah.
getting punched. That
Everybody
was a good
trying
sequence.
to get her off the old lady.
That was a good
Even though
sequence.
this
That was
old
good.
woman was very clearly like
Agile.
dry,
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's doing flips.
Okay, but you're not gonna sit there and still just be like, okay, because the lady's doing flips, let's not stop this younger lady from beating the mess out of her.
First
Yeah,
of all,
I
no.
am.
You ask questions. What did this old lady do to get punched?
First of all, you just don't get involved. That's
Yeah.
what you do. Because you saw how quickly she shrugged everybody off
Mm-hmm.
whenever the scroll ran away. She just like quickly shrugged them off.
Just get off me, bro.
Yeah, and they were just like,
Get off me,
okay.
bro. Get off me.
So, yeah, I would have just been like, well, I don't see nothing happening. You know, my stop is in 3 most stops.
Just move the newspaper up.
Exactly.
So, man, just got off work.
Exactly. So a fight sequence happened there. That was pretty cool. The special effects weren't overbearing, I say, with the photon blasts.
it was good. They looked good.
Mhm.
Those were good.
Yeah. No, it was good.
Well, because also keep in mind too, they wouldn't have been overbearing at that point because she still had the limiter.
Like
on.
yeah, because
But even when they undid him,
yeah.
I'm just
exactly.
saying, like, how it looked visually.
Oh, just overall.
Yeah, just how it looked
Yeah.
visually.
And I want to know how many hours they spent getting her hair right in her helmet, because fuck, that thing looks so good.
It could be CG.
Oh, whenever it
though.
Yeah.
drops.
No, I know. Like how
Oh, you
many
mean-
hours they spend
wow.
CGIing her hair up and down and up and down, and because it is
When she goes Super Saiyan.
fucking perfect.
They got an app for that.
Well,
Yeah.
like the Super Saiyan, yeah, but the scene when she's on the ship and like she has the helmet on and then it goes away and her hair just
The scene
falls
from the
Oh,
trailer,
yeah.
yeah.
perfectly. Oh,
Yeah, they have an app for that.
It's
Adobe made
beautiful.
an app for them. It's just a plug-in.
And
That's
it's-
all it is.
and it was like a really good way to do her helmet, like with her little hair, and like you can even see when she gets out of the water, the tips of her hair is wet.
Oh, I didn't even look at that.
Yeah,
But now when
it
I
was
watch
good.
It was a good
Again, I'll
way to
probably see
tie
it.
in both versions of Captain Marvel that we've seen, where you have the long hair, and then you have the newer version where
The
she has like the
mohawk.
short hair
The
mohawk,
pixie cut. And,
Yeah.
pixie cut, and it was a nice way of blending the two because there's people who like one or the other. So I thought that was
It'd
cool.
have been good to see when it does the jump again. at
She
the
has
end.
the mohawk
yeah,
now.
with the
That'd be
the
sick.
whole-
That would've
the
been sick.
post credit
Yeah.
scene.
Well, they showed it. I mean,
No,
Show
and
what she
No.
they
looks
show
like.
her, but
Yeah.
I'm saying with that haircut.
It would have
Ah.
been cool.
yeah, it'd been
the Rambo family. So
Love them.
her best friend. They do a scene where she goes back.
I was calling her Rambo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rambo.
It is
Rambo.
Rambo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
it's Rambo
French.
with an EAU.
No, it's John Rambo, as in
I mean, basically.
Sylvester Stallone. That's
Yeah, it's a
Stallone.
I want to say a Creole name. She was in Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so probably a
it's
French. Yeah, yeah. Lots of nods to the other characters because it's her friend Maria Rambo,
and
who has a
Maria's
daughter,
daughter,
Monica, who of course goes
So,
on to be multiple
When
superheroes in
okay,
the
so I
Photon, right?
remembered.
Photon, Captain Marvel.
Because
like,
Maria's call sign was Photon.
yes,
Yeah.
and on her plane.
So I remember being confused because I thought in the movie that she was going to be Monica. I thought her friend was going to be Monica.
Yeah, the mother. Yeah,
And I was like, why was I so convinced? And it's because she wears a necklace that says Monica.
yeah, on her. Yeah,
And so, like, in the trailer, you don't know that, like, it's
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
but,
and,
like,
I
Yeah,
think
it's
it
her
fooled a
daughter.
lot of people too. Because
Yeah,
online
it
they were
was
saying
Oh,
the
because
same
we were all
thing.
thinking, oh, look, that's Monica. She's going to be Photon.
Yeah.
I have no idea who that character was, but as soon as I don't know, I just got like vibes that the daughter was something.
well, when
They
she talks about, she's like,
and
I'm going to
so
build a spaceship.
they
And then
did a
the
lot.
time jump to Infinity War, or to Endgame, I mean, or, well, Infinity War. That
Yeah,
that
yeah.
20-year time jump, she's that age now.
Yeah,
she's in her 20s.
she's the right age to be a superhero.
Put her right into the next phase of
Yeah,
Marvel.
But they have to give her some type of origin or something.
course.
Like, they're
In the next phase.
it'll be interesting to see because they dropped massive. They threw her in your face more than I
Yeah.
expected to. Like with Cassie,
Right.
they
She was there,
she
but
was
she
there.
was like very.
There were nods.
until
Yeah.
until part two.
Part two.
Part
I was
two,
gonna say
they-
Cassie
Then
Then
they
they
get,
had
they
more,
get real big on the
yes.
like, I want to be just like my dad. I'm like, yes,
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
let's go, Young
Good
Avengers.
They're probably working their way to it.
So yeah,
Right.
in this one they definitely throw her in your face. Like what was weird though is she just picked up the Kree technology really quick to color palette
Yeah.
swap.
Like,
Oh yeah,
she's
yeah.
just like,
Oh, I got
you look
this.
like a touch
How,
screen.
how hard is it, though? She's just
So
sitting there
I
moving
thought
her
it-
fingers.
Well, I thought it was fine when she was just kind of like randomly doing stuff, and
Yeah.
then when she told her, she's like, "Oh, these colors," and she's like, "Yeah, I can make." I'm
Yeah,
like,
I got
"No,
this.
no."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In
She
her
can't-
defense, though, like I handed my niece and nephew an iPad or tablet, and they fucking
That's
figured out
very
better than
true.
I could.
Did you
That's
hand
So
it? Did you hand it to them in the 90s? when they weren't
I am
invented.
pretty sure it doesn't matter though. The time, whether they're that age
Whether they're
or not,
exposed to it or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once they know how to get their fingers and do things with it.
Okay, all right, moving right along.
Oh,
before...
okay, you fucking perverts.
You're all bad people.
What else
but that
happened
was a
in the
good
movies?
moment.
That was a good moment.
That her sitting there and oh my god, her new costume. That costume is fucking beautiful.
The costume was
It's
it was
so
done very
good.
well.
Yeah.
You cosplayers out there, you have a lot.
Jedi Amanda did one already, and it's phenomenal.
It's
if you
not
guys
just
want to see, no, it's not the Zentai suit.
like Spider-Man suit
Yeah,
is what
no.
I call them. I don't
No,
know.
she,
Oh, yeah,
she
no,
made a
those-
full one. It's beautiful.
I think
and
those are kinda
the more I
lazy.
like,
I feel like this.
I think it's kind of lazy. I know
Yeah,
I'm gonna get some heat to something like that, but
shoot.
I think it's kind of.
I want to see the bulky like
Exactly.
armor parts. Like that's.
Jedi Amanda did
fucking
all that.
badass.
Look her up.
Let's
She's
get some.
amazing.
I think I've seen
And
that.
so
one.
like her costume and like everything about this, but I was thinking about this later. I'm like, I'm so happy that like, yes, it took 10 years for us to get this movie, and it took 20 movies for us to get one that's headlined by a woman, and like that all sucks, but I'm so glad that they went with Captain Marvel and not Black Widow as the first one.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say thank
No,
you. If
don't.
you-
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just gonna say thank you. Previous episodes, I know you guys probably haven't listened to previous episodes, but we've talked about
on them.
Black Widow.
I
when
was-
we talked about Black Widow.
Yeah,
was on that.
Oh,
it.
you was on that one?
I was feverishly fighting you on it.
Yeah, I don't like Black Widow.
I
So,
know.
To be in the
well,
forefront.
Black Widow,
We're not gonna get into that.
I
We're
don't
not
like her
gonna get
being
into
in
that.
the
Black
forefront
Widow,
like
the
that.
reason I'm just watching this movie and she's everything that I want out of a female superhero and everything that I hate about Black Widow is because Black Widow in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't know much about her comic origin.
She's a
but it's-
D-lister in the Marvel comics. Let's put her
in
out right there.
The Marvel
She's a
Cinematic
D-lister.
Universe, she was introduced as a sexy businesswoman, and then she went
Secretary.
from sexy business. No, because she
Are
was.
you saying
in,
Brie Larson
Wasn't she secretary?
She
for-
wasn't a secretary because a secretary wouldn't have been doing everything she was.
She was
doing.
like an assistant.
She's like an assistant, yeah.
She was in the
Personal
legal
assistant.
department as something, but she was sexy businesswoman, and then
Okay.
she went from sexy businesswoman to sexy fighter, sexy assassin with the cat suit, and I'm just like, that's her whole character in the MCU. So if you want to throw, like, if you want to,
You didn't get sexy pilot from this movie? Maybe it's just I'm a fan of Brie Larson.
Or
And then I-
she's
or
beautiful,
maybe you
but-
just have a different
but it's
definition of
the
sexy,
difference.
right?
It's the difference between
Like
the
a
Captain
lady in a
Marvel
uniform.
suit and the Black Widow cat suit.
Military
Yes.
uniform.
It's a huge difference in those things.
No,
Like,
no, I get
it's
what
the
you're saying. I'm just being an
difference
asshole.
Well-
the thing that is accentuated about the character, the thing that's focused on about the character, the thing that the character's personality is like. I am happy that we got this instead of a Black Widow
Captain
movie.
Marvel got a little extra help in that department because so if she never got any upgrade in the comic books from that black suit that she has with the lightning bolt,
with Ms. Marvel.
then that's that BS you would have got. But Black Widow's never really got an upgrade suit. It's always just been this skin tight V-neck, black suit that's been like the sexy spy suit from
Yeah.
from the Avengers.
Well, I mean, but you can
not
change those things.
the British show. The
They could have
Avengers,
changed that if they
anybody-
wanted to.
Yeah,
could have
they-
changed
yeah,
the
they could have
costume.
changed
Because
it.
this isn't what Captain Marvel's suit looks like either. Like, not completely.
But it's very, very close.
It's very close.
Very close.
But-
because there's no, it's very militaristic in the comic
Yeah.
books, and hers kind of looks like Black Widow's kind of looks
And
like.
the
I'm
thing
here
is, like,
to
that goes with the
seduce you.
characters. Black
Yeah.
Widow is the sexy spy character. Like, that's what she's supposed to
She's a
be.
D-lister.
And so my point being, like, I think it's really, really good that this is where we went for our headlining female woman.
Very, very good.
Headlining
Yes.
female woman. That was a little.
There's
redundant, but, you know.
there's between
You're fine.
her.
It's okay.
There's other characters, other female characters that I would love to see as like their own single, movie as well.
And
then
let's not forget the Wasp, but she was not solo headlining, so I don't count that.
I mean, she basically headlined the
But
second
she was
one.
she
did.
she was badass in
She
that
fucking
second
carried
movie.
both
Yeah.
of those
She
movies.
killed it.
Ant-Man.
Not the first one.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not the first one.
First one was
Yeah.
dope.
First one
Ant-Man
was
and the
good.
Wasp
First
should have been
one
the
was
first one.
Should
Jill.
Yeah, it should have been the first
Should've
one.
been the
Yes,
first and last one. That's all we need.
Yes. But I mean, I don't know if it's rumor or wherever somebody said it, that she's supposed to be the headliner going forward. Is Captain Marvel.
new,
She's like how
Iron
Robbie,
Man.
how Robert Downey Jr. was. Said
And
Robbie
I'm
Downey
fucking
Jr.
here for
Robbie.
that.
Which makes sense. Like, kind of, she's like now taking the torch and then moving forward
Yes.
in the movies.
So then we're
Which
finally
is
going to
gonna
kill
be-
Robert Downey Jr. in Endgame.
Well, yeah.
Someone's dying.
A lot of people are dying.
A lot of people are dying in
A lot of people already
and
did.
that's gonna be fantastic because all these mad men that hate Brie Larson are gonna just have to deal with her for the next 10 years.
I feel like they're just a whole bunch of DC fans that are that are mad at this movie.
Dude, people are pissed.
Let's talk about her getting her powers for a second.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they
It's
changed that.
interesting. It's interesting how they did it. So in the comics, she gets her powers because of
She just wants them.
Kind
It's
of,
kind of a
yeah.
wishing machine.
It's
Yeah.
kind of, and I might be butchering it, but I'm 90% sure it's called the Psych Megatron.
You didn't want to just
and
Google it? Well,
I tried to Google it.
Okay.
I tried to Google it when we were at the theater, and I couldn't find it. But
Okay.
anyway, basically, she knows who Marvel is. But
She
she's
knows
still
he's
human.
an alien.
knows he's an alien, knows that he's a superhero, and just really wants to be just like him. It explodes, and he gets in front of her to block her from the explosion, and because of that, when the explosion happens, his Kree DNA gets transferred into her.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
she becomes this Marvel.
That's-
This is a much better origin. I'm just
Well,
gonna say
so
that.
here's the thing, though. So I'm not saying it's bad or it's better or it's worse. I like how she blew up the engine.
Herself.
Hell yeah.
Basically blew up herself. What I was hoping for, and maybe they did, and I just kind of missed it, was if Marvel's body was in between.
Oh no, she was already down. On the
She was
ground
already
behind
down
them.
over there.
Yeah.
Like off to the sea.
Yeah.
So to me, it's kind of like, okay, how did that give her powers? You know what I mean?
Because it didn't give her Kree DNA. That came
From
later
the blood
when
transfusion.
Jude Law did the blood transfusion.
Yeah.
Right.
But she got all of the power from the Lightspeed core, which was absorbed
Tesseract.
into her.
Which was the Tesseract
Which
that
was
just
the
dawned on me.
Tesseract.
That just
Revealed
dawned on me.
So
Okay.
she's
she got her
imbued with
powers
cosmic?
from the powers.
Because isn't
Space
the
Stone?
Tesseract like a
Oh no, she has cosmic powers.
cosmic
Yeah.
thing, right?
Which
So-
stone is the Tesseract? Is it the
It's the
Space
space.
Stone?
Yeah.
So it's all of the power. She got her powers from the Space Stone.
Yes.
Yeah.
From what
Okay.
she has the
So I would
power of
imagine-
the Infinity
Okay.
Stone.
All right. That
Cosmic,
makes sense now.
right? So
That makes
And that's why
sense
she's
now.
so fucking powerful. Is because her power comes from an Infinity Stone.
She's
that mean-
so powerful.
Does that mean that Marvel created an Infinity Stone? Is that what we're supposed to believe here?
No.
Because
Just
Marvel-
used it 'cause
No, she
remember it was
has
in
it.
World War
it
II.
was, yeah.
Already?
Oh, right,
Captain
right,
America.
you're right.
Yeah.
It
She
already
just
existed.
probably found it and tried to utilize
And-
its
yeah,
power.
Okay,
So
you're right. I was about to say this is gonna be a problem, but we're good.
yeah.
But yeah, no. But it was a good way of simplifying the origin story. I think.
Well, speaking
Skipping
of-
the Miss Marvel, skipping all of that.
Yeah, they well, I mean, they didn't have license to a lot of things because her story is very intertwined with the X-Men when she's Miss Marvel. Like, it's very intertwined with them. So they
Oh yeah, because you have the whole rogue.
yeah, there's a rogue thing.
Incident.
Well, for a while, she
Well-
was going to just be a part of the X-Men series, and then she has not a feud, but like a Mystique hates her.
Just a
They-
little falling out.
Yeah, like
Falling
not even
out.
a falling out, just Mystique wants to destroy her.
Well, then
type
there's
of
the
thing.
whole controversy of her basically getting raped in another dimension.
Yes.
Jesus,
And
what?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she,
Yeah.
another interdimensional being,
Marcus.
takes her to a different dimension,
I think it's Limbo, right?
and like brainwashes her and
Mhm.
has her like Stockholm syndrome type of thing.
Jessica
Yep.
Jones shit, like where he's
And-
like forcing
Yeah.
her to.
Yeah.
then,
And then-
has sex with her. Then she gets pregnant, and then she gives birth to him.
Yeah.
Yes,
She gives birth.
Yeah, we can skip all that.
Yeah.
bullshit.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Skip
that's
all
But that's
of
why
that
she disappeared
bullshit.
for a while. That's why
Yeah.
they took her out of the comics for the longest. That was back in the
That's
80s.
stupid.
and
they
then
took her out of
her
the comics.
her go woman moment is when she comes back, and the Avengers are like, "Oh, you're back. Why don't you join the team?" And she's like, "No." That's her.
But she comes back as
She comes back
Miss
as different.
Marvel,
Yeah, she comes
Different.
Yeah, different.
But she has her new suit at that point.
So all that stuff they could not do, basically.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
Well, no,
yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm
Any
glad.
shit.
I'm glad of
Yeah.
what they did with the movie then.
Right.
Because I don't know anything about her character, besides what I've seen in Avengers. Was the Mightiest Heroes, Earth's Mightiest Heroes?
Oh yeah, and that
When
was
they
kind of
added her,
weird.
and it was real quick,
yeah.
and it wasn't much. So watching this movie, like I just got loaded with a bunch of information.
Same.
That
And
I've
like
never had.
I avoided. So you guys all know I avoided trailers, but I also avoid looking up anything about the character beforehand. Like if I don't know anything, I want to go in.
You just
knowing
wanna go in
nothing.
fresh?
I'll look up shit now, but like I want to go in completely fresh, not knowing what's gonna happen, not knowing
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, see, I always thought you just knew about the character.
I know very little.
Oh, okay. See, I thought it was
know
like
very
your
little.
If you
like an obsession, like your Batman thing.
If
You
you
know what I mean?
read about her character now, look for any of the titles written by what's the
What was the
lady's
name?
name? It's a lady. Just
Yeah.
Gail
the
Simone?
only female writer for this character. Just look
Gail
up that
Simone's always
stuff.
And that's
I
I think that's
don't know.
the new stuff.
That's the
right?
new
That's
stuff.
the
It's all the
origin-
new stuff,
That's
yeah.
the origin I talked about where her mom is
So
actually
no.
All the old
limbo,
stuff because she was,
kidnapping.
and you'll see it on Comic Books Explained. He says they just didn't know what to do with her character.
they didn't.
That makes
She
sense.
just she
because
was
she's
just kind of all
But
around.
she kinda
freaking
has a
OP
cool,
character.
I mean, she kind of has a cool, like, before all that, has a cool origin where she goes in the Air Force right out of high school, like, works her way up in the Air Force, then gets hired or gets transfers to the CIA, works for the CIA for a bit, then gets hired to work at NASA as, like, the chief of
But
security
see, like
for
all
NASA.
that stuff, they just kind of throw away at one point.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, though. Is it's actually really cool, and she's a security chief at NASA, which is when she runs into Marvel because she gets suspicious of Dr. Lawson.
I think
which
that's how they
also,
did
side
it
note,
too with Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Because I
Was
remember
that what it was?
Yeah, yeah, they
But-
did that. They did it that way. They
All that to say, I thought it was really cool that they kind of kept some of that in because I don't know if you guys like read the subtitle, but when they showed up at Pegasus in the movie and it said it was a joint NASA
Yeah.
and U.S. Air Force, I
Yep.
was like, that's cool. They kind of they nodded to it, which I
And
thought was neat.
they gave, like, there was a good reason for them doing what she was doing, because Maria talks about, she's like, they weren't letting women fly combat missions,
Right.
so we couldn't do anything
Yeah.
except this. The
Yeah.
only way we could make a difference was by doing these test missions.
Which was like once you see the test mission, like at the end of the movie or towards the end of the movie, and you see, I was like, that's hella badass. That's probably more badass than any of the guys were doing. Like, fucking flying in space. Hell yeah.
I really wanted her to meet that guy. That's like, you know what? It's called
Right.
the cockpit. I was like
Oh
waiting
my
for
God.
it so she can fucking blast him. You know what I mean?
So
like,
Would have been a nice moment.
when that happened, I
Maybe in
felt
part
Emma's
two.
rage. I was sitting like across the theater, and I could
just-
feel. I was like, "Oh, Emma's
you
pissed.
saw the fucking sparkling photon shit around Emma.
You see me glowing 50 rows below
I was
you.
like, "Oh snap!"
Yeah, no, man, it was definitely, I think, a strong moment with the, like, that scene where she's just constantly getting knocked down and then standing up.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh my
like,
God,
that
I
was
cried. I
so,
cried.
like,
I fucking cried. It was
it,
so good.
it didn't feel forced because, like, sometimes in movies, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna, like, they force something like that down.
Right.
Which this one, it didn't feel that way.
No,
felt
it
It
pretty
was
feel
very
forced.
natural. It felt very
Yeah.
much because, like, they spend the whole movie building her up as that.
Yeah, because, like, okay, so, like, example, like, Supergirl kind of did that a little bit, where they, like,
Supergirl
they
was
forced
very
it on you.
It's
This
very
in your
Supergirl was very
face.
on the nose.
this
On
was
the
this
nose.
was like natural, so it felt it. I think it's, for me, it's received better
yes.
The only
because it's so natural.
and here the only part we talked about this at the theater. The only part that I think was on the nose, but I'm not mad at it,
Oh, I liked it too.
was at the very end, Jude Law's character is like okay, fight me without your powers, like prove that you can beat me without them, and she just stands there and just blasts the shit out of him
It was
across
so
the
good.
desert.
it was a very Indiana Jones.
I was
thing.
was.
just
It
about
was.
to say that.
It
It was a
was,
very
but-
Indiana Jones
The
thing.
sword
Yeah,
thing.
and it just
But that was
gun.
such a good moment because, like, you have, you go back to the beginning and he's telling her and he says,
You're not
he
ready
says,
until
you don't know how to control your powers.
Yeah.
You don't know how to control anything. Like, you
Your
can't do anything
emotions.
until you can beat me without them. Like somehow that makes any fucking sense. And
Right.
It's just him trying to keep her down.
Yeah.
I wish he wouldn't have hammed it up a little bit. Because, like, when he put his gun down and his knife away, or his anti-gravity thing away,
Yeah.
and then he started to, like, bob, like he was like, let's fight, or
Fucking
whatever.
box.
Yeah, like, they kind of should have really put drama into him being like, this is the only way, and then have her just cut it all away.
Well, and then she walks up to him and like he's like cowering. He's like screaming back against the rock,
Yeah.
and like it was just very like she's standing over him. Like, I have nothing to prove to you, and it was like in that,
That
moment I was
line-
like, okay, I
That
see what you're
line's so
doing,
good.
and I'm not upset at it.
No,
It's on the nose, but I'm not
beautiful
upset.
moment.
It was good.
It's a
It was good.
beautiful moment, and I loved it so much.
It was every time Brie on her press tour came across a toxic troll. That was the scene that was playing in her mind over and over
Yes.
again.
I was like, I ain't got nothing to prove to you, bitches.
So
I'm gonna take my paycheck and have a good day.
a lot of the switches, they did multiple changes in the movie for the better, I feel.
Yeah.
So like we already said that Marvel female character,
Very
her origin
Jewish.
story they change. The scroll,
That was interesting.
they kind
That
of
was an
changed.
interesting twist.
So,
Kind of upsetting.
but
I
here's-
know, we'll get to that. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Here's why. Because at first I was a little upset too. Because I've always associated the scroll as like these are the bad guys.
These are like the bad of the bad.
Yeah, because like almost every major one story with the scroll in
villain.
there is they're villains in the
Yeah.
comic
Invading.
books.
Well, and the Kree and Skrull war is like throughout the Marvel universe because that's what kind of spawned the Inhumans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
well,
both
they kind of established the Kree as being dicks.
well, they
space,
are
too.
in
Yeah,
comic
exactly.
books too. They're
So-
dicks in the comic books too. But like, so I didn't really care about that. The scroll though, seeing this like really sympathetic side
humanity.
for them,
Family.
which was
Quote, unquote.
fine though, because there are storylines that are kind of like that with the Kree and with the scroll. And then when he says that when the main guy, what is the main scroll's name?
Talos.
Talos
Oh, yeah,
or
Talos.
Talos or whatever. Yeah. When he says that there's thousands of them scattered around, then I was like, that leaves room for a rogue, group of them to be like, we're bad.
Radicalists.
Radicalists.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
you know
like
what?
Ronan
Because
was.
I'm sure
You're
not all
right.
Kree are bad.
Okay,
Exactly.
You're right.
So
dicks,
so
they're
that
not bad.
that kind of redeemed it, and I was like, okay, there you go. Because
Yeah.
like I really one storyline I would love to see is Secret Invasion.
Yeah, and see, that's
Secret
what I was worrying
Invasion would
about.
be
But now that
amazing.
you've
So
brought
like
that to like
that could
Which
be
I
a
feel like
thing.
they kind of alluded to a little bit, talking about it in Invasion and that they're
You're
there.
infiltrated. And,
they're infiltrated. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of glad. I'm kind of glad that they're
They
not
didn't
doing
focus-
Secret Invasion now, because my fear was with Endgame,
Oh.
them dropping like, oh, that's not Captain America this whole time,
Yeah, that would suck.
and how bad that would have.
You know how that would go over just as well as the Hail Hydra Captain America moment in the comics went over.
Yeah, like I
That
feel
was
like
bad.
But there's a way to.
that was bad. That was
So, okay,
weird.
so
That
Earth's
was a
Mightiest
weird twist.
Heroes.
Yeah.
Going back to that one. They
Great,
They
great
did
storyline.
the
So great.
the Secret Invasion storyline, and they made people think that the Captain America that was in there was just regular Captain America, and then they finally revealed, like, you've been watching this whole season, this has not been Captain America. So they did it right to me in the cartoon. Like, they did it very well in the cartoon.
You know what though? This does leave. So we all know that there's movies after Endgame.
yeah.
This
Are there?
does, yeah. This does leave.
No, that's it. They're done for like 20 years,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they'll reboot
No
it.
bullshit. This is a cash cow. They're
No,
not
yeah,
letting
it's
go.
not, it's not dying.
This leaves room for what's the next bad. Thanos is beaten.
Yeah,
well, see,
what's
the
the
next
next big
bad
bad?
for me would have been that Secret Invasion.
Well, that's my point.
That so now
That's
it's
my
like
point. They leave that
that's kind of
open.
off the table a little bit. A
How's
little
it-
bit. I mean,
not
the road.
really?
No, well, see, that's how I
20
felt. That's why I was like scared. But now, I mean, now
With-
that you made me realize that they could
Yeah.
do the whole. But that's kind of a
Because it's
cop
20
out.
years. I don't think so.
I
A little
think-
bit. A
I
little
think-
bit.
I think
if
that
they wrote it like that,
post scene of Endgame. Well, one of them I think could do a scene where it's like a scroll and you realize like, oh shit, there's more of them here now. It's been 20 years since Captain Marvel. They've all found each other. They've rebuilt their society. There's now radicalists and they're here. Now the Avengers have to deal with this.
I think they're gonna shrink that down like they did Civil War.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
yeah.
I think if they go for a big bad that they want to do like Thanos over a certain amount of movies, they go for a bigger name like a Kang the Conqueror or even a Galactus, since they have those licenses back. They could.
They
I don't.
could-
I
they could
would.
go
I wouldn't want
Galactus.
Galactus. Like me personally, I don't want Galactus to be the big bad for.
You're trying to think of big names
Yeah, I'm
that
just
can
thinking
be
of big
stretched
names
over
that
like a
would come out.
universe's worth of
Exactly.
material.
because you're not
And
gonna
I
have a
don't want-
Black Widow fight a
Because-
Galactus.
Exactly.
Well, because
Well,
like
It's-
Black
it's-
Widow fighting Thanos.
I hope she
Because the
does.
idea is you need somebody in a big bad like Thanos that can be tied to the Avengers are fighting him, the
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy are fighting him.
Yep.
All of the individual pieces are there. Like you get the mysticism that's fighting him. You get like
Yep.
Right.
all of these things have to tie into one singular villain.
We going Sinister, Mr. Sinister with that then?
Well,
Go
I mean,
Mystic.
I don't. No.
Go
No, Myster's
not
not big
bigger.
Like if you say Apocalypse, that's maybe.
We're done with Apocalypse.
But no, we
We're-
just have
for
to
a
wipe
while.
away that
Who?
freaking
For a while.
franchise.
Oh, Mr. Ooze.
Terrible.
Sorry. Okay.
Terrible.
I got confused.
Uh,
That's what he looked like.
I can't think of anybody else besides, like I said, Kang the Conqueror.
And I mean, as long as we're talking about Endgame, that fucking post-credit scene though.
So the post-credit scene, after everybody got up and left.
Sorry.
Well, the people next to us at least got up and left, which is weird.
Which I'm glad
The
because I
fucking
felt
annoying bitch on my side.
Here's
didn't
the
get up and
problem.
leave.
So we start. Hold on.
I'm glad too because
Hold
I
on.
can come sit
No,
with you guys.
you guys weren't there. We're sitting and watching the movie.
No, I wasn't there at all.
And
Oh, it's next
the
to
couple or whatever next to us
I was gonna punch that
are
woman in the
talking,
face.
and she literally leaks over to them and says,
Of course I did.
"Can you stop talking?"
What
Oh,
the fuck
shit,
else am
you
I
did?
supposed to- Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, what were they talking about? What were they doing?
I don't
She
even
just
know.
wouldn't shut up.
It was 2 seconds into the movie.
No, because here's the thing. So I was listening to her talk through the entirety of the trailers the
Yes,
whole
I
time,
heard-
and
I
I was
heard
like,
her talking.
I was like, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna say anything. Like, some
the
people
trailers,
think, like,
yeah.
it's the trailers. Some people think it's fine, but if she talks during the movie, we're gonna have a problem. So when she started talking during the movie, I was like, no, we're shutting this down right now. We're
But you
not gonna
went-
let this go.
Cut an hour into the movie, Emma's talking in the movie.
No, I.
How many
so-
times did I shh as
so-
well?
No, so
Oh, no,
I leaned
okay.
over to you and kind
Hilarious.
of went, "Oh yeah, this is fun." No, she was talking like full volume to the guy next to her.
Oh, I
So
didn't.
who's that guy on screen?
Literally.
I've only
like-
heard that in like the Deadpool
And
movie.
the problem, the other problem we had, and I didn't say anything when she did this, but when that Nirvana song came on, she started singing the song next to me, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking punch
I'm glad
you
I
in the
didn't hear her
throat.
because I didn't hear her at all. I didn't hear
swear
her
to God.
talking.
But no,
I
like,
didn't
why are
hear
you
her.
acting like that's a weird thing to tell people to shut up in the theater? Like, shut
Because-
the fuck
Because
up.
that's how you get
Because
stabbed.
first of all, it's a cultural thing. It's definitely a cultural thing. If you had said that to Shaniqua next to you, she'd be like, "Who the hell are you talking to?" And then it would have been a problem. That's you told it to Candace next to you,
Karen.
Yeah, to Karen, and
Nobody
that's why
is paying
Karen would have been.
$20 to listen to you and your commentary
Yeah,
on the movie.
okay.
Shut the fuck
Okay.
up, sit in your seat, and don't say anything.
Okay, yeah.
You don't say that to
Okay.
the wrong
Yeah, exactly.
person.
It was like everybody doesn't respond that way.
And then you're going to be
It's,
everybody
unconscious
doesn't
for the
respond that
movie.
way.
Let's not do that at the Arden Theater or the.
Oh yeah, no, no.
I'm
Yeah.
just talking.
We'll
Shut
do
the
it to the
fuck up.
Greenback. We'll do it to the
Green-
Rockland.
I mean, Greenback's a border. I think.
Yeah.
That's as far.
But I was like,
this way as
when
you
I
could say
heard
it.
you say that, I was like,
You did look surprised, and I was like, she was talking.
yeah,
Oh, shit.
because
I
I
think-
was like, you know,
I think it was when I went to go watch Glass. I had a situation like that where there's a whole group of people behind me, and I turned. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not saying anything, but the whole fucking movie, laughing at scenes that weren't funny, which was annoying.
Turn around and tell him to
And-
shut up.
But then you look and you're like, okay, yeah,
that's-
no,
I'm
they're
telling you,
ethnic.
when you,
You look them
You-
up and you go.
And I'm ethnic myself, so I, know
can't.
the
I'm
routine.
telling you,
I
it's,
can't
uh,
take them.
Lord.
Nope.
When
Like,
you
yeah.
get the I need to see the
She
manager
was
haircut.
she was
and then
pretty
you
big.
Can, you can start telling them.
She
be
looks strong.
quiet.
We are so off track.
Yes, we are. Anyway, in credit scenes.
Back to Blockbuster. Okay.
In credit
fuck up
scenes,
during movies.
In credit scenes were
That
a scene from Endgame, I'm guessing.
yeah,
Yes.
that contraption that they had the thing in to keep that battery running. What the hell was that? Like how powerful is the battery in that thing that you're like having to build that shit to keep it running?
Well, they did a lot of things in the
battery
movie
you
where
talking
they
about?
took old technology and upgraded
Yeah.
it with just whatever they had, I guess, on them.
Oh,
Or
in
whatever
credit
she
scene.
had
Oh,
on
you're
her.
talking about
whatever
the
she
pager.
had on.
Yeah,
Yes.
the pager.
Okay, I was confused. Like, what the hell are you?
No,
I was thinking you're
'cause-
talking about Tesseract for a second.
No, the pager's sitting in that contraption with like all like the blue tubes behind
Yeah.
it and like
They're in a
Yeah,
science
everything
lab.
was just powering it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the beeper goes off, and Captain America gets informed that hey, the signal is, over with. We don't know what happened. Blah blah blah. And then they all go investigate. Black Widow says some line that doesn't matter because she's a D-lister. And then
She
she
says
Scandalous.
reboot
yeah.
it.
And then she
and she
turns
says, I want to know
around,
who's on the other side of it, so let me know when we get a signal. And then she turns around.
and Carol Danvers is right in her face, like, "Where's Nick?"
Where's Nick Fury?
Yes, exactly.
She said Fury.
And we know,
Yeah, 'cause you
like,
don't
we
call
know
him
that
Nick.
that
Nick.
part. What's nice, I think, about this is we know that's early in the movie. So Carol's going to be in a lot of it.
Yeah,
Because
she's in
yes,
Black
yes.
Widow has her short blonde
Yes.
hair. And in all the promotional shit, she has that long red braid.
And Paul Rudd wasn't there. So you
True.
Paul
know-
Rudd wasn't there.
So we're gonna get
You
some
know it's
Danvers and
before.
Rudd together, some back and forth between them. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Oh, because of the comedic side.
Yeah.
the meeting
Exactly.
of sarcastic minds.
Think about it. Like he's gonna walk in there. He already doesn't really think he's like a superhero type person,
No.
and he's going in there with all these freaking superheroes. Yeah.
What, like you're from space?
Exactly.
Like you could fly up there? Wow.
Yeah, I can't. And that's actually, I was like, I like this movie. I really like this movie. I just want to see her interact with everybody else too, because I feel like she's going to fit in very well, and I just want to see it. I just want to see the interaction with everybody.
Who do you think is going to be the one that goes, "Where the hell have you been?"
For
20 years.
I was gonna say Tony, but
No, I
Falcon's
feel like
gone?
that's gonna be
Is Falcon
Scarlet.
gone? No.
I feel like she's
Anthony
gonna
Mackie's
ask.
gone.
You think
Yeah,
ScarJo's
she's
going to
gone.
say
I
it?
think she's gonna ask.
She's not.
I feel like
say
she's gonna
that.
ask.
Nah.
Like it's either her
Maybe-
or Cap.
maybe-
One of
No,
them are
'cause,
gonna
yeah,
ask.
it's either gonna be her,
Because
Cap,
they're
and
the
she's the one that's
intelligence
gonna be
people.
more angry.
And now we got 2 captains.
Yeah, that I can see.
Captain.
Yeah, but Captain America,
Captain, and then
Captain.
or at least in the
Captain.
comic
Captain.
book, he's
Captain.
the one that tells her she should go by Captain. Like, you're in the military, that's your rank.
Well,
Do it.
Captain.
He tells her to go by Captain Marvel.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But go by Captain. Yeah, not like just
take
Captain.
the mantle of
Yeah,
Captain
yeah.
Marvel.
So
Captain.
I don't know. That's and then the other after credit scene was just the evil cat throwing up the Tesseract. So because in
Called
the
that
movie,
one. Called that one.
he eats it.
And you had asked, like, right when the movie ended, you're like, what happened to the cat in the Tesseract?
And
And I'm like,
what's it
wait,
called
I
again?
bet it's going to be
Yeah.
a flirkin.
Flirkin.
Say
Should've
with
shopped for that.
flirkin.
Flirkin.
Should've shopped
Flirkin.
Got it.
So I took the
It's
eye
a
out.
pocket dimension.
You're going to text me about that
I just
in an hour,
read
aren't you?
about it. It's
A flirkin is a pocket
it's
dimension.
a pocket dimension. Whatever they
It's like
eat stuff
Hermione's
and
bag.
it's-
No spoilers.
Hermione's bag.
No spoilers.
So what?
It's
It creates
the
a- it's Kirby.
doctor's-
No. I'm
Pocket
just saying.
dimension
Okay.
is- it's guts.
But they never
Like,
explained.
The being itself is a pocket dimension.
Yeah, well, like whatever it puts in its mouth, it can store it in a pocket dimension.
Why are you gonna say
And then it
that?
has
Oh,
the
it's
It's a
Yeah,
bag
tentacles.
of holding.
Bag
But
of
whenever you put a muzzle on it, though, because it said this in the
Yeah.
wiki, it is useless. It
Oh.
renders it useless.
Well, there you go.
It can't, because it's limited to the
Because
strength
it's
of a cat.
It's basically a cat.
Fury. It's a cat.
Yeah.
It's not Hannibal Lecter.
There
This
is-
is not Hannibal Lecter.
When I was reading about it, though, I guess there is a thing where Rocket Raccoon knows what it is, a flirkin.
Yeah.
Okay, and he tries to kill actual Carol Danvers' real cat,
Oh yeah,
and
That's,
because he thinks it's one of
yeah.
those, and
that's
he
a
thinks
new,
it's
it's a
evil,
new one. Yeah,
but it's not. Yeah, it's like, and then I thought that was funny, so I want to see that.
because it's
in
it's
game.
in one of the new comics. Yeah, he does that, but it's not Goose. It's her cat Chewie.
Yeah.
Oh, her cat's Chewy in the movies.
It's when,
I mean, the comics.
It's when she goes to go work with the Guardians because Tony thinks that somebody should be, one of the Avengers should be in space or at any given time and just rotate.
Like
you
a
know,
Stark
rotate
must always
through.
be in Winterfell.
Exactly, like a Stark must
An
always
Avenger
be.
must
in
always be in
we're
space.
we're on Marvel right
And,
now.
I've been
uh,
watching a lot of Game of Thrones.
I
okay?
know.
I was
Yeah.
expecting that ship to become part of Sword.
Sword? No,
Yeah.
they're not going to bring Sword in now. I think maybe
Yeah.
later, maybe next.
Ooh,
the
it
next
probably will be,
phases.
but I
Next
don't know. I
phases?
just saw it and I was like,
But no, that's
there's
the
an
thing.
opportunity.
So in the so with everything already wrapped up, we have all the origins, we have all our Avengers.
And we're just got one
Are they
more.
going to reboot?
No,
Or are they going to just
I think they're going to continue and they're going to do
Reboot.
kind of like
because you're going to add properties in now?
yeah,
You
there's
got
gonna
the
be a
Fantastic
reset.
Four, and you have the
There's
X-Men,
gonna be a-
of course.
No, they
Definitely
spent
reset.
10 years building this.
They're
They're
not
not
gonna
going to
reboot.
reboot that.
if anything, they're going to do kind of like what I think it was Civil War.
It's,
At
a,
the end of
it's,
Civil
it's
War
not
when
going to
they
be
had the
it's
new
going to be a
Aven-
retcon.
not the actual new Avengers,
Yeah,
but
they're
they
not
had the
gonna retcon
new
anything.
Avenger
No,
team.
They're not. Well, they're going to retcon the old stuff. They're not going to retcon the MCU. They're
No,
going to retcon.
stuff is changing.
I
They're
see.
the
I
Fox.
see
going
where-
back in time.
Well, I see. Hold on.
No,
Hold
they're
on.
not
'cause
gonna
Stuff is
retcon.
changing.
Well, see, this is why I see what you're talking about, like the new Avenger face.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
what
know
it
what I
looks
mean.
like.
And
And
like,
then when
you
they
had
did,
you had Falcon, you had Scarlet Witch, and there was like the new
Ant-Man.
team.
yeah,
They're
when they
gonna do
did
something
Civil
like that.
War, they
Oh.
started off by showing the new Avenger team.
Yeah, there
Right.
probably will be like Carol forefront or Miss Marvel,
Captain Marvel.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Forefront,
Don't
and
take that
then like not Iron Man, War Machine. Oh my God, I'm forgetting my hero.
Which is interesting.
and like all of them going. Forward.
Or we could get Iron Patriot and get some Young Avengers. I'm just
The
saying.
hell would we want
It'd be-
Iron Patriot?
it'd be
He's still
interesting.
young,
Young
though.
Avengers.
It'd be interesting if they did do a Carol and Rhodey team, because in the comics they actually start dating.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then it led to the wackest Civil War comic book storyline ever,
Civil War 2.
which was the worst.
Yeah, but Tony originally wanted Rhodey to be the one to go up into space first, and
yeah, 'cause
Carol
he's
tells him.
Also, Air Force pilot.
Carol
flies
tells
or
him,
whatever.
and he's like, "Well, yeah, because he wants the best pilot." He goes,
So-
she goes, "Excuse me."
Did she didn't
Oh.
get
Yeah.
all her memories back, did she?
No.
Wait, no.
No. She didn't get her memories back.
She just knows now that this is where her life was.
I
Yeah.
thought when because she calls Monica Lieutenant Trouble.
No,
and she
well,
goes,
she's had that flashback where she said Lieutenant Trouble.
Yeah.
the flashback, which then gave her back her memories.
Yeah, because
I think
they're also like
because
digging in her
she's-
mind, so she's seeing all that.
Because
shit
she
too.
said, she goes, "Oh, you remember?" And she said, "Yeah." So that to me implied that she has her memories.
I think
back.
it's just the flashbacks.
I
think
didn't know
anything
where
that
they
we saw
left
in
it.
flashbacks is what she knows.
Because
Maybe.
she didn't get anything else that you didn't
I could see either way.
see.
Because when she says goodbye, when she says goodbye to Maria, she says it's hard for me to say goodbye too. Like it's like I understand that it's hard for you because you know me, even though I don't know you. This is hard for me too.
Because
Yeah,
they
I get
kind
that.
of had a bond too.
I get that. Okay.
So yeah, I think it's just the
Interesting.
flashbacks and just that she now knows that's where she's from.
All right. Are we? Is there any other major things that we're missing out before we start rating and ranking this thing?
I don't know.
By that
I mean,
silence, I'm
we
gonna
can-
say there
we can talk about
isn't.
There's
this.
so
Yeah,
much.
We can talk about this.
there's
So
a lot.
here's the thing. It doesn't have to be that difficult because this doesn't have to be your like hard like this is it. Okay, it could be very malleable. It can change. It can you can it's fine. But if you were to give it just a rating, just
What's
say
the
a
scale?
grade. No,
What's
just
the
say a
scale?
grade rating. A to
Okay.
F type of thing. F to A. That way it's not just like a
Are we doing minuses and pluses or just
I mean,
straight?
if you
Yeah,
want to,
yeah.
that's
Okay.
fine.
Throw 'em in there.
Webb, you want to go second again?
Yeah, I want to go second. Thank
All
you.
right, Emma.
This is an A for me. I think there's always room.
Just A.
I think there's always room. So
Okay.
I won't say anything is an A plus. I wouldn't
Look at
say
you.
90%.
Thank
I
God
would say
we're
it is
not
an A+.
doing numbers.
I
Yeah, no, I don't
would
want
say that my favorite is tied for, and still even with this, my favorite is tied for Civil War and Winter Soldier.
Okay.
And even those I wouldn't call
Pretty
A
good
pluses.
choices.
So I would put this in the same tier though.
Okay. All right. Webb, you're second.
Yeah, I would say it's an A. Definitely in my top 5
for
Marvel
sure.
movies. It was such a good movie. I mean, I'll give a movie an A when I get chills watching the movie. And there's scenes in that movie. She goes Super Saiyan for the first time. She's blasting through space, and she just like flying through space, blowing up Kree ships, and just
Discovering her powers.
discovering her powers, and then she like full on just does like a starfish through like 4 different
Fucking
ships.
body slammed a ship.
Body slams and and goes woo, and she goes through it. Like I'm like chills. This is awesome. Yeah, it's an A. It's an A. Top 5 for me for sure.
Steven.
I don't know. It's hard to say A because the second one's gonna be even better.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I've never really been super disappointed with a Marvel film. I've always
Thor
enjoyed
2.
them. And I enjoyed it actually. To be honest. It isn't the greatest one, but
Criminal underuse of Natalie Portman.
she's fine.
Natalie Portman, is that what you said?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I would
underused.
say it's an A. It was definitely good. Brie Larson nailed it
Oh yeah.
for sure.
She's
yes.
so good.
Her chemistry with
Everybody.
Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, great. Like,
Yeah.
they have some really great chemistry.
Really good, like
Uh,
buddy.
yeah, like
Did
really
she-
quick.
Did she win the Oscar for Room, or was she just nominated?
I thought she won that.
Did she win that?
Let me double check
Because
that.
they're just pulling Oscar winners now. They're like, hell
Well, I
yeah.
mean,
It's a
they
cash cow
know
thing,
Yeah.
if you sign up with Marvel, you've made it.
Don't say that because the Inhumans, you signed up with the.
That's true.
uh,
That's true.
uh,
Hey, but
yeah,
Bohannon
that's
could
true.
have.
that's-
Went places.
yeah.
So Aaron,
Aaron.
Um,
Wait, did you give a grade?
I said
You
A.
did A.
I
You said A? Okay.
Yeah. I just said it's tough because the sequel's probably gonna be a lot better. Oh no! Another thing I wanted to say, touching on her blowing up the planes and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you get that Iron Man feel?
Okay,
Yeah.
so when that trailer dropped, somebody did a side by side of the first Avengers, Iron Man going through and going up towards the
the
portal,
Chitauri yeah.
and just like do basically the same thing,
Yeah.
just psh, psh, blowing through. Here's the thing though,
I know exactly where you're going.
Captain Marvel did it like 10 times better.
Yes. Well, and
I
she
think
did
it
it
was
on a
so
bigger
Well,
good.
yeah, they have
scale.
time to make it a better scene, but
And she
Well,
did it on a bigger
but
scale.
no, yeah.
I'm not talking about the CGI looked better. I'm talking about it was a bigger scale. It was just her going through, because not only was she blowing them up, it was almost like playing for her. She's like discovering her powers, and she's like, "This is awesome!" Like, "Oh, let's try this. Okay, let's try this.
And
Let's
she's not in
body
a suit.
slam a spaceship."
it won an Oscar.
Nice. Well, did the movie win or did she win?
I just said one. I mean,
Anyway,
So
yeah,
Aaron.
it was good.
I'd probably
actress leading role.
I'd probably give it an A as well.
I thought you were gonna say B plus.
No,
So did I. 100%.
no, because everything that I thought and had a down on, like I said, the scroll and everything
Yeah.
like that, they had answers for them all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That just redeemed every single one of them. And then I really, really love characters that play with their powers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
she
she
u-
was
she
discovering
used
her
it,
powers. and
Like,
it was
not just
great.
discovering, she used it so many times in the freaking thing. Like, just regular
kettle.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
just regular stuff.
Fist bumping fury and like
Like,
shocks him.
You don't get that too many times in, in like superhero movies, especially in origin movies. Because it's just like,
Right.
I need
They're
to
always,
discover everything. Yeah,
They're
this
scared
one,
of it.
exactly.
They're
There's-
unsure of it. It's like Bambi learning to walk.
she had training wheels put on her by the
Yeah.
opposition.
They limited her.
That she
Yeah.
didn't even know were
Yeah.
there.
That she didn't even know, but she was still having fun with her
Mhm.
powers and still doing things with her powers.
The big fight scene. I mean, how many? Like, I don't know if you guys caught it, but there were many times when she was like, she like blasts, and then like she didn't realize how strong she
fly
was.
back.
Exactly.
She fly back. She was like, okay, all right. There's the
Yeah,
limit.
no, that
And
was
then
good.
Stands up and,
And
like,
then,
all right, I got
goes-
this.
Goes right into stopping, like, with her hands.
The fucking
ongoing
face nuke.
missile. Yeah,
Yeah.
like an ongoing missile. Like, you know. So she really established herself as, like, a big-time powerhouse.
Heavy hitter.
Which-
Exactly.
Which, her doing that, going up, blasting through all the Kree attack ships, blowing up one of the accuser ships,
Yeah.
and then just sitting there, popping herself like right outside of
Oh,
Ronan's
yeah.
window.
And then flexing, basically.
Flexing
Yeah.
with like a
Yes.
freaking like
So,
nuclear explosion,
what
and it's
didn't-
just come at me, bro.
What didn't make sense about that was why she wouldn't just take that ship out too. I understand for like the story, like Ronan has to live and he has to
Yeah.
get away.
Yeah.
But like in her mind, why did she just wipe out all the rest of these and she stops with this one?
I'm wondering
Probably
if it
because
had.
they're Kree and she's quote unquote
But they were Kree on the other one too.
grown up as Kree.
Well, I'm wondering.
All
She
the
did
other ships
kill.
had
Yeah,
Kree
she
on them,
just
too.
did kill another ship.
I think it was because then she goes back down and whatever his name is, Jude Law. I don't remember his name in the movie. Goes and says like, I'm sending you back with a message. I'm coming.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those things of like this is a warning. Earth is protected.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
this just
Or-
made
yeah.
me so hyped. to
Kind
see
of
her
protected,
here.
'cause
She
that
should have
went bounced
just
for 20
punished her,
years.
But
Jude Law.
You could
Yeah.
see it as, because Jude Law didn't see any of that stuff go down,
Right.
right? They did.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, this is what
Somebody
I can do.
has to live
Yeah,
to tell the to-
somebody has
tell
to
the
go see
Tory.
it.
I'm gonna
Tell
say
the
it.
Tory.
Tell the
Story?
Tory.
Somebody definitely
The-
has to
the
tell
Torah?
the Tory.
It's called a
Yeah.
Flurgan.
Torah.
Yeah.
Flurgan.
Flurkin with a K.
Flurkin. Gin.
It's an evil cat, everybody.
This
Tentacle
just
cat.
made me so
Evil
hyped to
cat.
see her against Thanos
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to play that one out, too.
because she is what the kids would call OP. So how
No,
are we gonna...
she really is.
She's,
Tell me somebody else that's gonna body slam a spaceship. Name
Hulk?
another person in the
Hulk?
MC. Okay,
Yeah, Hulk might be able to do it, too.
maybe can you
But
survive in
they've
space?
they've still never really
Hulk?
shown that he can do that. Like we know that he can.
Because he doesn't know his
but they
powers
don't
yet.
show it. In
Oh
the,
my
in the
God.
movie.
World
No.
Breaker Hulk. is
No.
coming.
But again, like
No.
it
It's coming.
feels very much like they downgrade him in the MCU.
Oh
They
no,
did.
yeah,
No, they hands
hands
down.
down
They
they did.
had
They hands
They-
down. They had
The
to.
Hands down.
MCU Hulk could not. Do
You know what? That's what I want. World War Hulk.
They're not going to do.
I
Well,
want.
No,
I want,
because
you've
they
already
already
missed
did-
out.
No, no,
opportunity
I
with Thor
know.
Ragnarok. Yeah.
Ragnarok. They already touched on.
I want him to find love. They take it away, and then he's the bad guy now. Fight one of your own.
But he wasn't really
again.
the bad guy.
No, you're
Exactly.
thinking of Old Man Logan when he was the bad
No,
guy.
how dare you?
Yeah, Old Man Logan, he's the
Oh.
bad guy.
Not the
definitely.
movie, but the
Oh, okay.
the comic.
That movie was trash.
So
You're
the movie gets
I know.
all the way around A.
And so trash knows trash.
The movie gets an all around A. It's a definite buy.
It's definitely buy. Yeah.
Go see
Definite
it.
buy.
Go see it multiple times.
I'm
Um,
already gonna go see it again this weekend.
I'm
Review
excited
it.
for
I'll probably end up watching it one more time.
a full blown
Or-
A-Force movie.
Yes,
That's what I want to see.
Give me She-Hulk.
But
There's
only
people living down
here's
there.
the caveat to that. Only if Black Widow's not in the movie.
That's fine.
That's how
Well,
I want
you
it.
have
That's
like
fine.
this like
She's
Just be aggressively
Garbage.
neutral. Just be
She
neutral
actually-
about her.
No,
Just
and
be
I'm
nothing.
actually with Aaron on this.
why do you hate like
She's terrible.
that was the mic dropping
Oh my
right
God.
there.
She's terrible.
Don't drop those
She's,
mics.
she's
It's
terrible. They,
Like she's
Alter-
terrible as a character. She's
alter her
terrible
character.
as a female character.
Alter her as-
Joss Whedon destroyed her.
Okay,
And
so
then
but
look-
that's not her fault. Let her grow then.
Let her
No,
grow.
no, I think
have
it's
her
beyond.
zip up. Have her
character.
zip up the cat suit a little bit.
I think she's
It
beyond
isn't-
redemption.
Tuck,
even
tuck
Her
them
deep
tits
away.
deep.
zipped up to her
It's
neck.
not
That
deep
doesn't
deep,
matter.
man.
I think you know
Not
why.
in Iron
this
Man.
is-
Not an
2.
Iron
This
Man
is
2.
this is why I say she's
Who
beyond.
directed
This is why I say
Favreau?
she's beyond redemption because they have already now teased these other positive, strong female characters like the Rambo family and stuff like that, and they've set the new standard for what they're supposed to be.
That's true.
She doesn't.
She
So
might
it's
be.
just
She
like-
might be the old guard that leaves.
I can
after
see
Endgame.
her
one way or another.
passing
in
the
movies
mantle.
and in real life. Like we're done writing female superheroes like this. We're done. We're not doing this again.
That's
This
true.
is it.
That's very
Leave
true.
her.
So
We are moving on to bigger
if
and better
she's
things.
if she left in the past and we do the A-Force, and A-Force, if you look at the roster of A-Force, there's some powerhouses on there,
Give me She-Hulk or
and
give me death.
like, I mean, she just doesn't fit in that group. She's on
No.
the team in the comics and stuff, but she just doesn't fit in that group. So
She's
I don't
a
know.
towel girl.
It's definitely a bright future for Marvel after this one. I'm excited next month to go see Endgame.
Oh my gosh, that's next
Ooh,
month.
shit.
6
That is-
weeks.
Yeah.
6 motherfucking
Yeah.
weeks.
I got to figure out.
So let that stew. And
I'm pissed the tickets haven't gone on sale yet. Because looking back at our conversation, we bought these tickets in January.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why have Endgame tickets not gone on sale yet?
because they're already sold out.
Maybe because
Probably.
maybe they just wanted to wait till this movie was out.
They didn't want to cannibalize,
Yeah.
cannibalize sale. Well, no, that
That's
wouldn't
actually a
have
good
happened.
point. They didn't
Yeah.
want to take away from this one.
So maybe
that makes
Monday
sense.
they might do a thing where it's
They'll
like,
wait.
hey.
They'll wait for the probably like a week or
You
two.
said 6 weeks. So if they wait a week, then
I bet
5.
Well, yeah, I bet they wait a week or two because they want this
A
to
month
get
before?
yeah, and they want this to get, and we're talking pre-sale tickets, which was like not a thing even like 5-10 years ago.
Well,
Yeah, but
thanks
we're in the
to,
future now. This
yeah,
isn't the
Fucking
90s.
Black
Speaking of-
Panther and
Speaking of 5-10 years ago, let's just take a
Infinity
quick
War.
second and look back at how
Where
this
we
all
started.
started with Iron Man 1.
Very good movie
Yes.
And
that they
and
took a chance on.
yes.
they took a chance on because
Yes.
cause,
On an actor that nobody thought was going to go anywhere ever again.
right,
I
that was
agree.
his
Pass.
comeback story. Yeah, and
Val
he
Kilmer?
comes back.
What?
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
Terrible. If he was Iron Man, this would not be around now.
And then,
He's Iceman. How dare you?
and then how it kind of ties in with the end of this movie, where the post-credit scene of Iron Man, the first one, is Fury is there, and he's like, I want to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative, which I remember as a kid, because I was a kid when that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was a kid when that came out. I'm like, like, this is what they're doing. Like, this is awesome. And I knew Iron Man because I grew up watching the Iron Man cartoon where he had the briefcase, which he didn't get
Good
until
lord.
Iron Man 2.
You liked that one?
I was a kid. You were
Let people like things,
You were
Aaron.
20 at that point, Aaron.
I still didn't like it. Still didn't like it. That was the worst burn that you and you guys
That's
can
fine.
have it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll
That's
take it.
fine.
Over
We'll take the
calling you
burn.
old.
Boom.
But that was there. Go ahead.
And yeah, point being is then you have at the end of this movie of Captain Marvel, and Fury is now sitting down realizing like there's other stuff out there.
Other threats.
We are not prepared for this, and he's trying to come up with a proposition for what to do with it called the Protector Initiative.
I know that was kind of stupid. It was like
And then-
you gotta look up something
how
else.
he got, because it was Carol,
Her call sign.
Avenger, Danvers, and he goes, oh, delete, Avenger Initiative. I was like, oh.
I like that they
That-
did not show
Goosebumps.
it too. That was a good.
Yeah.
that
It was
a
good.
choice.
That was good. It was a good choice
because
not
you
to.
knew what he's right. Like
You knew what he was writing.
Actually, they probably should have showed him put a whole different name on there.
You know what's crazy?
No.
Super
You know
guy.
You know what's crazy
says
though?
initiative.
When I was watched that and I saw Protector Initiative, I didn't even think about it.
you did it?
I didn't even think about it
So that's
until
all
Wait, and then it was
until I
like,
saw
oh,
Avenger on the
snap,
plane. I
okay.
was like, "Fuck! How did
And
I not
then-
see that?" No, I know.
And then
It
as
was,
he's typing it, they
it was a
start
dumb
playing.
moment.
They start
And they
playing
play
the
the theme
Avenger
song for-
score.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a chills moment.
But
Yeah.
still, going back, Iron
Fucking
like,
beautiful.
how we started with Iron Man, like it's crazy to think like it's 20
10
years,
years
right?
ago.
But
10
that-
years ago.
20 years ago?
That's
20
soli-
years
that's
ago.
solidified.
1999?
Yeah.
Well, I
That's
mean, Carol
solidified
Danvers,
though.
I mean-
Captain Marvel's like her effect on the
Right.
MCU without you even knowing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She had all this
She's
influence
been
already.
shaping it from the beginning.
Which also
Yeah.
kind of
Which
solidifies
is awesome.
our theory that we talked about earlier with her kind of being the one that's
The
going to carry
forefront.
on the torch, because now it's like, okay, so now you've reintroduced the same scenario. You have Iron Man, who's kind of a fairly little known character in Marvel.
He was just
and
not a popular character.
He was just not a popular
Yeah,
character.
he was known. He
and
was unpopular.
He comes out and he kicks this whole thing off. And then here's Captain Marvel, which a lot of people, they either don't know or they're confused about her origin because she's had so many names. And then here she is kind of coming in, and like right at the end of the old guard leaving with Endgame, she's picking up and she's carrying the mantle on. I think it's kind of cool. It's good symmetry. I like symmetry.
It's a good way to continue on. I don't know if people are going to put her up against the carrying power like Robert Downey Jr. did with stuff.
I think she could.
I'm not saying she can't. I'm just saying I don't know if the masses will have her like that and put her as like, because like they kind of made him.
Times are changing.
They kind of
true, but
well, that's a whole nother thing we can get into.
Yeah.
The times are changing. We live in California. There's a whole nother country
Yeah.
out there. The times are
I
weird
mean,
right
yeah,
now.
Like,
But-
honestly, just like look at the comment section on anything about Captain
Exactly.
Marvel.
No,
matters.
I fully
People
understand
fucking
that.
hate
no,
Before the
I heard
movie
that
even-
shit outside of the movie when I was waiting to use the restroom. When I was waiting on you, David,
Yeah.
the guy was like, "Fuck, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was talking about like, oh, when did we watch Guardians 4 or whatever bullshit." He like said a snarky comment, and like he was talking to like
Glad
two
Emma
other
didn't hear it.
ladies.
I'm disappointed that Emma didn't hear it because she would have lost her mind.
Yeah, no, it was like, and the dude looked just like a douchebag, to be honest.
But see, like it's like
he had the
it's-
douchebaggery.
that's kind of before this movie even came out. You had all that stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Crap.
Well, and that's like why Rotten Tomatoes changed its own policy because of this movie. People can't review a movie before it comes out now because of this movie, because it got review bombed.
Why
so
was
bad.
it even
Oh,
reviewed?
shit.
Why did they ever
Because
have that
men were
policy?
mad.
No. I'm saying why did it have that? Why did Rotten Tomatoes have this policy?
Some.
Like, how would you
I think
review
it
a
was-
movie before it comes out?
It's
Because-
just the way the site works.
well,
Because people see early screenings.
Yeah, you can get early
people,
screenings.
whatever,
You
which
can
is-
go and do
It's
it.
the
Yeah,
same
Like,
thing.
some people
Xbox
get to
had
see
the
it.
same thing with its reviews. But basically, the way, like, you just take something like that. Like, Rotten Tomatoes changed its policy because it got review bombed. The way that these angry fucking neckbeards interpreted that, and I had a dude online say this
Yeah,
to
Webb,
me.
neckbeard.
You.
My
I had
razor is
somebody say it to
broken.
me.
All right.
The way they interpreted that was, oh, Disney had to pay Rotten Tomatoes to remove all the negative reviews because people don't like this movie and it's really bad. That's exactly how they interpreted it.
That's highly terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
if
no,
Disney
and
would have
it's-
just bought a
it's just
company and been
completely
like,
wrong.
Okay,
and then
we own
shut
Rotten
it down.
Tomatoes now.
Yeah, exactly.
But so I'm very excited for the change this is going to bring. I'm very excited to watch this box office just fucking skyrocket and shatter records. I'm hype.
Yeah, I want to see what this does.
I'll be
for-
very excited come Monday to see what the opening weekend box office
This
was.
is definitely one of those inspirational movies. I think, like,
Oh, for sure.
for like
For
young,
many
young women
ways.
out there, kind
Yeah.
of look at, kind of like how Black Panther kind of did with like
Yeah.
ethnic heroes and stuff like that.
And how Wonder
Kids
Woman
can
did.
relate. Jesus.
Representation is
Representation,
what you're trying to say.
thank
It
you.
matters.
Representation is
Steven.
important. I remember
Representation
when I went
matters.
to see Wonder Woman for like the first or second time, I was like walking to my car and there was this little girl in the parking lot that was just like, she had just came out of the movie and she was like punching and kicking and like
Yeah.
jumping all over the place, and she's like, I want to be just like Wonder. And I was like crying on the way to my car. This shit matters.
It does. It does.
It's true. It does.
Well,
If you don't think so, you can go fuck yourself.
Sheesh. Okay, so that's a good place to
Nice high five
stop
on
that
that.
on. Yeah, definitely go watch the movie.
Steven's
And yeah, I mean, there's nothing more to really be said. I mean, there's probably plenty of more
We'll
and
continue to
speculations, but
Talk about this.
we'll do this all again on Endgame, right?
Yeah, I hope.
Hell yes.
I hope.
All right,
Hell,
then.
it's just gonna be us sitting here in complete silence for an hour in
like,
total shock.
We're gonna start the show now.
I feel like you.
Shut up.
I know. I feel like after that movie, we're gonna be talking.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot.
Definitely talking.
It's gonna be a lot of.
Boy,
Here's my thoughts.
All right. Let's wrap it up. It's getting late.
we've
too.
tried to end this so many times.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I gotta work
All
tomorrow.
right, we're wrapping it up. For Stephen Gutierrez, Emmaskies, and the real David Webb, I am Sir Aaron Carter saying that's enough of the internet today.